Lots to choose from, lots to be excited about, and a lot to talk about. You know, I have not been this excited talking about Steeler rookies in a long time. What is going on, everybody? Good Wednesday morning to you. This is Steel Sermon in the house. Coming at you with another video. As always, do me a favor, like, comment, subscribe, follow on Instagram, link in the box below. So, coming on here and giving an opinion of mine, and I'm kind of echoing a video that I saw the other day from my good pals, Dan and Rob from the SteelTwins. I'm great friends with them, and I've known them ever since I started making videos on YouTube back in the fall of 2016. I'll link their channel down in the box below. If you haven't already, go sub up to them. Great Steeler content creators. They have a great podcast that they do like once a week or so. They're just overall great fans. Go sub them up if you haven't already. Link is in the box below. And so the other day, I was listening to their video about the biggest impact from a rookie that they think that the Steelers will have this year. And I'm just giving my opinion of it because it's a good answer. I mean, they say that PZ Jr. and Benton are going to make the biggest impacts, which, honestly, if I'm being completely honest with you guys, I agree. I really think that our first 4 draft picks will make big splashes with the Steelers. I think really that Broderick Jones will make a big impact because, let's face it, we traded up to get him at 14, and that immediately patches up our left side. I'm not saying Broderick Jones is going to be the starting left tackle right away because, you know, he's got to compete with Dan Moore, but I think down the line, definitely he's going to make an impact. Then you got PZ Jr., that's the fan favorite here in Pittsburgh for obvious reasons. I think he's going to be a great player as well. But with that, because of his name, I hate to put it like that, because of his name, fans are going to have a lot of expectations for him because he's Joey Porter's son. But if you ask me, there are 2 Steelers from this spring's draft that I think, in my opinion, are going to make the biggest impact with this team. My first rookie is the obvious one in Keanu Benton. I made a whole video about him about a week ago. I think this guy is one of the most underrated draft picks in the entire draft, not just with the Steelers, don't get that mistaken, undeniably with us. But I'm talking about the entire draft. Because you take a look at this guy, what the Steelers have lacked on defense, aside from the interior linebacker, which we finally addressed, and we look like we have a phenomenal answer for it in Quan Alexander with bringing him in. And aside from the corners, the biggest thing that we've lacked on defense is a potent rush defense attack. We haven't had it since Casey Hampton was here, and we had it for a little bit when Tyson Alualu was here. But now that, let's face it, Tyson Alualu is older and Javon Hargrave is no longer here and Casey Hampton is well gone, you bring in a guy like Keanu Benton, who's going to be up the middle right there on that defensive line. He, like I said, he absolutely gives me Javon Hargrave and Casey Hampton kind of vibes. Knowing the defensive coordinator that he's playing for with the defensive line that he has working alongside with Cam Hayward, I think he's going to learn a lot under that. Now, granted, Cam Hayward plays a different position than he does because this guy's a nose tackle and Hayward's a defensive end, so a little bit of apples and oranges right there. But if you ask me, I think he's going to learn a lot under him because Hayward does have the ability to stop the run. And he's really just going to plug up that middle like Casey Hampton did. And he's got great speed. He's got great football IQ. And not only is he good with stopping the run, but he is just able to get tackles for losses of yards. And you wouldn't expect that from a big guy like him. I mean, look at him. The guy has like he moves like he has a propeller under him, you know? You just wouldn't expect that from him. He's capable of getting to the quarterback as well. I mean, this is not a guy who's going to get you 7-10 sacks a year. He might get you a couple sacks a year, but he's also really great at causing pressure. He's great at disrupting the quarterback. He's great at disrupting the play in general. That's why in my video, in the title of it, I said Keanu Benton the Disruptor, because that's what he is. He's a full-fledged disruptor. So that's my biggest impact right there for the rookies that we have. It's going to be Keanu Benton. But I think a close second for me, I don't think anyone's given Darnell Washington any love. And I say Darnell Washington because, number one, I mean, I'm not a big fan of a 3 tight end set because he's joining Pat Freiermuth and Zach Gentry. Like I said, not a big fan of a 3 tight end set. But it doesn't really matter to me because this guy is such a great blocking tight end, and he's coming into a system where he has Kenny Pickett as his quarterback, who's going to be in his second season, and this is a guy who's entering in as a rookie, kind of like a reverse back in the day. You know what that reminds me of? It's kind of like a reverse with me, with Big Ben and Heath Miller. Because when Heath Miller came to the Steelers, Heath Miller was a rookie. Big Ben was in his... Actually, you know what? It's not a reverse. I'm sorry, now that I think about it, not a reverse. It's the same thing. The point is, it reminds me a lot of Big Ben and Heath Miller. Because Big Ben was entering his second season in 2005 when Heath Miller was drafted. And Heath Miller came in 2005 when Big Ben was in his second season. And Heath Miller was immediately Big Ben's favorite target. Big Ben has said countless times out of his entire career, Heath Miller was his favorite target. He was a great security blanket for Big Ben. And I think that's what Kenny Pickett's going to get with Darnell Washington here. Great security blanket. They're going to have great chemistry with each other because they're two young football players on the same side of the ball, offensive players. And I think that he's going to develop into an immediate favorite target of Kenny Pickett. Now, I mean, of course he's got George Pickens. Of course he's got Deontay Johnson. Of course he's got Allen Robinson. Of course, you know, he's got Pat Freiermuth and Zach Gentry. He's got all them guys. But I think the biggest X factor as far as the rookies go, it's going to be Darnell Washington, who he traded with Carolina to grab. And he's a great blocking tight end as well. Because you can talk about Broderick Jones all you want. You can talk about Isaac Seumalo all you want. You can talk about Dan Moore Jr. all you want. You could talk about James Daniels and who's going to play center. But I think the one that everyone's missing out on is going to be that sixth man on the offensive line, and Darnell Washington. This guy is huge. He's strong. He's a great blocker. He's great at opening up holes, which is going to prolong a guy like Najee Harris in the run game in general. I talked about Anthony McFarland the other day in my training camp observation videos. So I think this run game is going to look infinitely better now that you get another blocking tight end in the mix in Darnell Washington, who's really good at it. And he's come on and said himself that he can play a position like that blocking tight end, like that offensive lineman, and pretty much like a wide receiver who blocks as well. So really, those are my two biggest standouts and my two biggest rookie impacts that the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to have for 2023. I mean, let me just be honest, okay? I love our first four draft picks. I love this draft class in general. It's probably my favorite draft class we've had easily since 2004. But when it's all said and done, I think this has potential, especially with the first four picks that we had. This could be the best draft class that I've seen the Steelers have in my life. And I'm very excited to see it. So, yeah, man, that's just a little bit of a response that I had. Because, you know, I think everybody is just talking about Peasy Jr. and Broderick Jones too much, but not that I don't love them, because I do. I think they're going to be great players for us, but I think these two guys are the ones that everyone's just kind of sleeping on. And I'm just giving my opinion on it. But yeah, let me know what you think down in the comments below. Who do you think is going to be the biggest rookie impact for the Pittsburgh Steelers this season? This is Steel Sermon checking on out for the day. Have a good day, everybody.